Hello my YouTube friends, this is Richard, founder of Short-Term Rental University and Airbnb Superhost. Today's video is an overview and the key findings and takeaways that I gathered from Tony Robbins' Business Mastery Conference down in West Palm Beach, Florida in January of 2019. But before we get started, let me just say, I'd always seen and heard and read and watched Tony Robbins. I'd seen the Netflix I'm Not Your Guru documentary, and it all was really cool, but it didn't resonate with me personally. That said, a good friend of mine invited me to go. He was attending, he was a huge Tony Robbins fan, and said, come along for the ride, check it out, but if you come, go full in and give it a chance. So the very first thing I would say is I had an absolutely magnificent time. I felt like a kid. I was at a concert, I was at a rave, we were dancing. Really kind of interesting. I haven't done that as an adult, and in many ways I felt like a kid. And that was kind of the point. Bring you back to your basics, bring you back to where you could do everything, bring you back to when you believed in yourself, bring you back to when you didn't know better perhaps, but just bring you back to a place where you could start to really dream big and fulfill it. So Tony started the conference with 80% of success is psychology. It's in your mind. Only 20% of it is on the mechanics. And so that sort of framed the conference. We spent a lot of time on the psychology, on our mind, on trying to figure out what was limiting us, on dreaming, on goal setting, on working through unresolved issues that we don't even know at the front of our mind, but they're like holding us back. And it was really, really liberating for me and for really a lot of people in the audience. He does these wonderful intervention type scenarios where people raise their hand and talk about something, and then that something leads into the next thing, and before you know it, Tony's down to the root cause of the obstacle, the hindrance, the self-limiting belief, and then he pulls that apart and the person can move forward. It's called a breakthrough. So 80% of success comes from psychology and only 20% from mechanics. You really have to know what your motivating factors are, and it could be different from all of us. And we're not talking about the obvious stuff like, oh, I want to make money. We all want to make money. That's not a why. Why do you want to make money? Those of you that have been around the channel, you know that I talk about that all the time. I highly recommend reading Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. It's in my kit, so if you haven't read it, go ahead and check that out. But do you want to travel the world? Do you want to give a charitable foundation? Do you have kids in need that you need to provide for? What's the deeper human emotional component that's going to resonate with you through thick and thin, and when times get really challenging? What's that deeper purpose, that why? What are you doing this for? This channel is all about short-term rentals and Airbnb, and you've heard me talk about that I want to take you from an Airbnb host to an entrepreneur. Well, in that why, there's a lot to be learned there. Your why probably has nothing to do with Airbnb or being a host or a super host. That's a means to an end. So right now we're focused on Airbnb and short-term rentals. That's great. There's a lot of opportunities, and I think we've got a long runway, maybe 10 or 20 more years while this trade continues to work and is very profitable. But that's not your why. Your why exists even if Airbnb was to close tomorrow. And by the way, there will come a day where Airbnb will either get disrupted by something else, or you will shut down your listing or something else, and you still have a why. So I'm trying to make a point here. Airbnb is a means to an end. Short-term rentals are a means to an end, and we need to get our mind around the bigger concept, the bigger picture. Another very important point that Tony made during the conference is what he calls proximity is power. We've all heard variations of this, but Tony really put it succinctly. You want to be the dumbest person in the room filled with the smartest guys. And you want to feel like I don't belong and I'm uncomfortable and why am I here and gee, I'm going to embarrass myself. Those feelings are you growing. You're in the right environment to grow. Now, as you get more comfortable with it, maybe it's the third board meeting or the fifth board meeting, or you're now speaking in front of people, whatever it is, as you start to get comfortable with it, Tony reminds us to get out of your comfort zone again and take that next step. And as you continue to take these little steps into the discomfort zone, you're growing each and every way. And you want to be in rooms with people that have had the success that you seek, that have done what you want to do, that have reached and attained the financial goals or the spiritual goals or the relationship goals. You want to surround yourself with people that are ahead of you. And the reason is Success leaves clues. If you're in the room with them and they're leaving clues and you're associating with them, doors will open. You will find new opportunities. It's like I said earlier, I went down to the Tony Robbins conference because a friend of mine at a club that I joined invited me. Had I not joined that club and I'd sat at home instead, I would not have gone to Tony Robbins. I would not be filming this video. And to be perfectly honest, this channel and this energy and the excitement that I feel about STRU right now and the desire to help other people is as a direct result of me focusing on my why during the conference, and it's working fabulously. So you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to be close to power. Success leaves clues. And I thought, Tony really did a great job with that. The next thing that Tony talked about, and I think this is really helpful for Airbnb and short-term rentals in particular, is to create raving fans. People that are talking about your place, people that are talking about you as a host, people that are talking about your city. If you can turn people into raving fans, you will have far more success than if you are transaction-oriented. People come, people go, they don't know anything about you. It's very generic, it's plain vanilla. There's no sense of emotion or location or anything like that. Like, that just doesn't work. In today's world anyway, right? That might have worked Airbnb 4 years ago when there wasn't a lot of options, but today the competition is higher. So what we all need to do is create raving fans. And Tony talks about how to do that. You have to delight people and you have to care and you have to be authentic and all these things that doesn't really happen everywhere. So if we can stand above and create raving fans, our business is going to flourish. One last thing, Tony talks about changing your habits and changing your mind frame and watching success just occur. So let's drill down on that a little bit. If you show me your habits, I'll show you where you're having success and where you're having problems. If you are getting out of bed at 11 o'clock in the morning and then you're walking around and you don't do very much, it's no surprise that you're not having the success that you'd like, even though you might be dreaming of it. Instead, if you wake up at 5 in the morning and you go to the gym and then you come back and you eat a healthy breakfast and you go to work all fired up and you're in peak state, you are going to move the needle. You're going to have more success. So change your habits is very important. Change your mindset. Dream, visualize, know what your goals are, know what your why is, start to think positively from a place of abundance, not scarcity. All of these things really have a deeper impact. Like, it will really, really move your needle forward. You won't believe it, but you have to try it and you have to do it consistently. And that's really it. We talked a lot about specific things on growing our business and very small incremental changes and how small changes over time really help a lot, and how once you start to measure the right things, you'll start to improve on the right things. And that's all in the mechanics section of it. But I think the real takeaway for me was that 80% psychological. It really, really helped. It really resonated with me. I feel completely energized and excited. I'm going back to Tony Robbins next week in Whistler, Canada. He's got a small subset of the platinum members. We're going to meet in Whistler to talk about the economic summit. There's going to be 6 different billionaires. And the reason I'm going, the reason I joined the platinum membership is exactly what he talked about. Proximity is power. I want to be near those billionaires. I want to be near Tony Robbins. I want to be near the 200 other platinum members. I want to circle and surround myself with people that are thinking about growth and opportunity and positivity. And I'll tell you this, I'm already collaborating with 2 platinum members that I didn't know just 2 weeks ago. Anyway, go ahead and let me know if you've watched any Tony Robbins videos or attended any of his conferences, what your thoughts are on Tony Robbins, and what you do to get yourself out of that not peak state and into peak state. The more we share, the more we learn. I really hope you like this video, and most importantly, I really recommend you get to a Tony Robbins thing, wherever it is in the world. I think it'll have a major impact. Just the act of you saying, I want help and I want to progress and I want to grow, that's enough for it to make a huge difference, and he's a master at it. I really respect him, and Tony, if you're watching, thank you so very much. Have a great day. Like the video, subscribe.